All right. You know what? I need a better intro of just saying, like, if this red light is to be believed, we are live. I need something else. What that is, I have no idea. We'll figure it out in season 4. Um, 90, we'll get to 90 episodes and I'll figure something out. Don't worry about that, folks. But hi, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Low Key on the Wheel Libertarians Network. My name is Harry, aka the Moving Target. Here bring you a nice, exciting episode. Um, I was going to say the title of the show, but I've never said it in the other 7 episodes for the ones or the other episodes prior. So screw it. I'm not going to do it this time around. So this time I bring the crew around and we're going to talk about some little fun stuff. I'm going to, of course, bring about some of the amazing, diverse things in my 3x3. I'm bringing a talk up about Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. But I'll bring let's introduce the crew so they can talk back. So because they're being polite, they're showing this good, very good podcast etiquette while not talking until introduced. I really do appreciate it. So but since you don't know, I don't fly solo. I bring Rhinehold. Rhinehold, say hi, everybody. We've got Rhinehold, and he's going to bring about what is this? Some Aaron dude.
Some Aaron dude. You're going to talk about Gundam. Is that what is? I've never heard of that before. What is a Gundam?
Gundam.
Anyway, so just understand this is the beta version of the podcast, right? So once we get to the full release version, right? This is the early access you're getting right now. So yeah, the opening is going to be a little rough. We'll get that ironed out with the optimization too. We'll get the optimization in. Mm-hmm. We'll get we'll get an actual plot. One of these days into the podcast.
We 7 days to die this thing. Should I just put the beta logo on it? The early release, just
early access, baby.
Just let it go.
Early access going on 10 years.
Instead of episodes, we'll just have like those are versions of beta. Just counting up till official release of the podcast. These are all beta episodes.
Official release of their podcast. Mm-hmm. And we're done. Bye.
Bye. That's the official release. We'll do one really good episode.
We're completely done.
High end.
All right. Completed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we've also got Vincent with us. You see, he is apparently fresh off his suspension off the Big Show. He was suspended for 1 week of the Big Show.
What?
Yeah. You were shadow banned from the Big Show for a week.
What's that?
I don't know. Dear Leader was angry at you for some reason. I guess he listened to the episode and realized that you called him out. He suspended you for a week. So fresh off his suspension, Vincent Cooper.
That's fair.
Right, I was just like, we could be suspended.
I didn't know it was an option.
We were all suspended this last week, weren't we?
I know. Yeah. It's okay. Like, I'm like perfectly honest. Is like, honestly, like, I'm screwing up your intro. Go ahead, talk, please.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, no, I'm here. As always, finally forcing them to talk media once more.
Mm-hmm. He's not Paul. You can let him talk.
Yeah, exactly. I get to talk. I'm not. You don't interrupt me as much as we do, Paul.
I should probably like create contracts for you for the next year, so you can so you can have things in writing which you need from me each episode. But I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to the next beta release. But what I wanted to talk about is like I really do feel and really took to me because like I know that we're supposed to record this Saturday, right? And then when I mentioned it, and Rhinehold looked at me like I had 3 freaking heads, and then I'm also talking out to people, and they're just going to the Libertarian SC meeting. I'm like, did Spangle mess this up? Because I've got it planned on my calendar, and I'm supposed to go there to record. Same, okay, all right. You and I both got that thing.
But did you discuss that
with him
in the hour and a half before the podcast time when he was trying to get the equipment together? Was that discussed then? Because it wasn't discussed after I got there.
No. This was discussed a while ago. This was discussed in November, right?
Yeah, you told me these dates in November to request off from work because I have to work at least one Saturday a month.
Right. So if he's not there, then honestly, if it's just gonna be Vincent and I and Rhinehold, if you got to go to your meeting, it's fine. I'm just gonna screw around the DB boxes, and if we get this sucker working, okay.
I'd like to be there, and I might be there. It's just I had an issue with a migration for work this weekend that may bleed into next weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to, but I think I might. So
I want you to know
it will be accessible.
I want you to know, like, I was trying to talk my director into let me be lazy because, like I said, we have to set up the AD system. And I told him, like, it would be easier if we just, like, I can keep doing my job and we can go get X company and we'll set everything else up. So considering you've got to buy like 10 Windows Pro licenses, we can just
it's really
go over here.
That's the whole point of of what I do is that I come in and get things up and running, and then I'll let you guys maintain it going forward. You don't have to learn how to implement it. You just learn how to manage it.
Yep. And considering thanks, Escaldias, for the bits.
Old biddies.
Because we also got some Windows servers, right, that are also not in domain. They're not really clustered together. I use Windows, what is it called? Administrative Center. What is it called? That one admin center thing to adjust to manage them.
Yeah.
But like, I'm the only one that uses it. Everyone else just goes into each individual Windows server like a loser. It's like, how do you do that so fast? I go into this one server here, and the server controls everything on the other server.
IPAM, and I set up all the DHCP and DNS. I don't have to touch every single one.
Yeah,
I press the button, and then the button does the thing.
It's like, are you guys going to every one of these servers?
RDP in each server.
It's okay. One of them.
At least they're not going into the server room anymore, like they used to have to do. Right? We used to have to go into server rooms, bring up the console, KV switch over to the right server, and then do stuff in that loud server room.
Yeah, Scott just said he's here to disrupt. Well, speaking of that server room, I've got last weekend I did bring over the Blade servers over to the stream house. So that is our dual FX2 Power Edge blade servers. So we got four blades in each blade chassis. So that's 8 total blades. So we got parity between the two with the Nexus servers. So we got 10.
We can save video to it, right? So we have backup, so we don't have to worry about StreamYard storage and losing it, and bit mapping and everything else.
Yep. And what also because remember, so like I said, we're running the things behind the scenes, like OwnCast and everything else out, and all the other different apps that he have been experimenting in the background. So we can finally break away from a lot of the tech things. We'll just run things on our own, because eventually I will tell you that the low-key episodes, we eventually will start here on YouTube and Twitch, but we will eventually fade away and we'll stop and we'll go over to our own site, and you have to go over there to finish it out, not because
and those servers too you could save the data for the video files, and then you could have an editor remote in and edit the files right there.
And you can use more clips without having to worry about copyright and all that fun stuff.
Yep, we could pop up clips. We could do what we want. We control.
Do reactions?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We can control all of it. It's our servers. It's our hardware. It's our bandwidth. We control all these different things. So like,
it's funny to watch you guys be so paranoid about reactions when that's basically the main function of YouTube right now, are reaction channels. That's what's getting the most heat.
Yeah, reaction channels. Well, like depending on like if you could like tick off somebody, like so like they are, like there's
certain companies that you can't react to their stuff. They get crazy, so
they actually get up. They
find out who they are.
They get upset, and there's so many different people that like. But the thing is, like when it comes to certain locations, like you've got the right type of politics, and they'll leave you alone. If you have the wrong type of politics, they will not leave you alone.
See, here's the other thing, especially for this series. Harry's talking about Gundam, and Hasbro is very, very copyright happy. There are very few clips on YouTube that isn't licensed by Hasbro.
Yeah. Initial D, I could probably get away with playing whole music videos, songs with it, especially Dave Rogers. Dave Rogers would probably let me play the whole song, especially because he's on the process. He's the idea of everyone who listens to this thing, even if it's a meme, will buy my audio.
Correction, it's Namco Bandai, not Hasbro.
Yeah,
My brain said the wrong one.
It's fine. It's fine. They'll both sue.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Hasbro will sue just as your case.
A lot of times what they'll do is they'll just claim copyright on it so that any monetization that happens, they get.
No, I'm not going to get any of that.
You say that. But there's definitely a lot of things that are just gone.
Oh, no, there are some places. Yeah, some people who just haven't figured out how new media works and the best advertising for their product would be to have people reacting to clips from stuff.
How do you know Gundam doesn't care about that? They make money off of the models, not the shows.
Yeah,
right. That's the point, though. If you show all these clips of the show and people go, "Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna go get the model."
Probably.
Why would you do that? That makes the most sense to me. You're getting it in front of people's eyes.
Well, right. I will try to get one reaction, especially when we get to the studio, right? And all of us are there. It'd be easier for us to have like a pause button on the TV, be able to see it, react with the headset, and be able to go with it. And it's easier for us to talk over it and make sure it's very transformative, and we control how it's also outputted on the screen. Right, exactly. I was just like, "Oh, I want it now."
No, it's the driving in hour and Monday
nights. Like, but I don't want to do
that. I know. I didn't.
I'm sorry.
Nobody picked the location, but it's just what it is.
We'll just find a day and we'll go there, and then we'll do like a bunch of test episodes. So we'd spend like 6 hours reacting to things, and that could be like 20 episodes.
See, there you go.
Thinking ahead.
The whole season of Wednesday or something. That's cool.
Good old like Rhinehold comes in on Friday, does 4 hours, comes back on Saturday, does 2 hours. Yeah. Yes, I want to be respectful of time. I do realize for you it's an hour drive. For me, it's like 15-20 minutes. And Vincent, 5. Vincent does cars. Did your car get warm? Like, does it blow out warm air by the time you get here, or are you still blowing
It starts to.
Like, oh man, it's warm now. It gets out of here.
I do have to say though, with the new car, it's not as bad. I got nice warm seats.
Nice.
I got a nice entertainment system, so I could actually listen to podcasts and other things in there. Really nice without having to jerry rig it through this tape deck thing that reads, and it's just.
All the other things that you had.
Now that I'm dragged into the 21st century on car technology.
Oh, I got an aux cable in mine.
The only thing that really irritates me. Here's the thing that really irritates me before we get into this stuff. Brand new car, new Toyota. It's got this nice system in there. You can do Android Play, right? Oh, but not wireless. It's got to be plugged in to do Android Play. Like, come on. You can't do wireless Android Play? The people are doing it.
Why does it have wireless Android Play? Yeah.
It's got to be plugged in to get the Android. Now, I can use it as a Bluetooth. I can connect up to it as Bluetooth wirelessly fine. And I can play from the phone through the system. But I can't control it through the...
That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird.
It's
weird.
So I had to plug it in. But the good thing is when I do plug it in, it charges, so I don't have to worry about uncharging and all that stuff.
See.
That's good.
I wish I had a nice little place to put it that makes sense,
Does it have a wireless charging bay so you can put it in a wireless charger?
No. I don't think so.
All right, so clearly your car is meant for Apple users, so that's your problem.
Here.
You bought an Apple version.
I don't know if it's got wireless Apple.
You bought the Apple version of your car.
The Apple version of your car. He's gonna go home. He's gonna check his book. Like,
I should have got the midnight version, right?
Boom, the Apple car. Like, no.
It's got this. Yeah, you can do Alexa with your thing. I'm like, oh, cool. There's a Toyota plus Alexa system. Great, because I've got Alexa at home. Oh yeah, but that requires this hooked up to here, and it's not working for you right now. So I'm just like, whatever.
Nope, I don't know if I want Alexa in my car.
I already have like Google in my car, like because that's the Android stuff on my phone, so it's already there.
Yeah, but do I really want Alexa in my car?
You want Siri in your car?
No.
Hey Alexa, give me another string of curse words to say that person that cut me off.
Makes me wonder now that maybe I should just get Alexa commands on a of course we have just destroyed, like, anyone who doesn't have their Alexa properly, configured to their voice, we're just destroying it now.
Oh yeah, right.
So if you're rocking Alexa with your default settings, that's your own fault.
And we're doing this through headphones, so my Alexa can't hear it.
That's good. Rhinehold's rocking default settings, everybody. If you're at Rhinehold's house, just tell Alexa start doing it.
I have it tuned to my voice. I'm not crazy.
I know. You're just like,
but there's nobody in the house but me and Heather, so it's not like it matters.
Yeah. Alexa, download all episodes of We're Libertarians. All right, so now we got that.
Should have said low key wall. I don't know why you went with We're Libertarians.
It fill up the hard drive faster. No. But I was like, now I just want to get Alexa commands on a speaker and just drive up to people and just play it at their car.
Just to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa, turn off the engine.
I know.
I didn't find a group with
Got himself.
Got him. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Oh man. Hopefully Iskiji will clip that. That's funny. Come on, Iskiji.
I should wait a minute. What's there's a new thing going out. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Okay.
Well, you talk while I'm doing this.
No, I want to try to go into the content because we're over 15.
Go into the content. That's fine. I know we're just having fun talking.
We are. All right, so I'm gonna go first to get my stuff out of the way because I'm laughing and giggling and I can go fast because I admit some of the Gundam stuff goes in the same stream with me, but it goes the same thing. But this one is actually different. So the media that shaped me is Gundam Stardust Memory 0083. So this is one I watched at the time when I was trying to get into the older Gundam stuff. So I was just looking for Gundam content. Is it one of the better? Is it a good older version of it? No. I will say there's some things that don't hold up, but the one thing that I look upon it fondly, and I couldn't remember why I looked back at it so fondly up until I started doing the review of this thing and looking up and getting online and watching episodes, and then I noticed other people's reviews, and that started to mess with me because I finally figured out, and I couldn't because it was on the tip of my tongue, why did I like this show? And I wish you could see on my TV in the background because it perfectly shows it, is people were talking about the parallels of Gundam 0083 to Top Gun. I fucking love Top Gun. I'll admit it, I love Top Gun. I don't care. Yes,
I'm glad. Yes. By the way, I'm glad you're very riveted, Christy. We appreciate it.
Well, it was riveting until we got into the actual content. Now she's probably gonna...
How dare you? Anyway, so and I just couldn't get over the comparison.
Danger zone.
All right, and it kind of this. Yeah, because I love Top Gun. Even though huge anarchist, and I can understand that there's tons of propaganda in Top Gun, and it did influence a lot of my decisions and why I like certain things and got me into planes for a little bit. I get it. Freaking get it. Okay. And it probably led right to my thing of loving mechs. Okay. Right. Oh, thanks. Was it Doomcat? Was it Troomcat? Sorry. Thanks for the follow.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment here and diverge into the side area of Archer because we said danger zone, right?
Mm-hmm. Later. We'll do Archer later. We'll do Archer later.
But Gundam Stardust Memory, which it starts off is you please pick apart the Top Gun pieces as you see it as it goes. So you've got this an ace pilot that's in there, and he's hooked up next to another, he's the elite ace, and then you've got the rookie
like
sensation
Top Gun.
who he was becoming like better in himself as a test pilot. And what's going on is that they're out there testing these two Gundams, and the ace, right, goes in and steals one of the Gundams. So the point of these Gundams that they're stealing is because the Earth Federation. So this is after the war. This is 3 years after the war. It's peacetime, and one of the rules of war at the time is that you're allowed to have nuclear power in warships, but you're not allowed to put nuclear weapons, warheads, on mobile suits. It's against the rules. No one does that because no one wants this. This can get really bad. It can escalate very quickly. Earth Federations not only broke that rule once, they broke it twice and built two of them.
Welcome, Zikri.
Yeah, welcome, Zikri. So they built two of them, and when the Aces was secretly a not a Earth Federation pilot, but he was a secret Xeon pilot, and steals one of the nuclear power and nuclear warhead, took the nuclear warhead Gundam and left with it, and left the rookie pilot to go battle it. So it's like them battling the bigs, going after the, and the whole plot of this whole thing is the Xeon is taking which I will have to separate some of the new thing, what I got from it, but like it's separating the aspect of what is it? They were going ahead. What the plan was, Xeon was to kidnap and take this nuclear weapon, and they had a plan to with the last remnants of Xeon. So it's got like that kind of like that old World War feel of the.
Yes, Earth making nuclear weapons is exactly something Earth would do. You're exactly right.
Yeah, several times. Yeah. So what they would do is also, one, embarrass the Earth Federation by stealing their prototype Gundam. Two, showcasing to the world that they're violating rules they all signed up for. They're already violating more of the rules. We're 3 years after the war, and they're already violating everything. And then they're also going to use the nuclear warheads to crash a colony into North America to basically cripple the food supplies, making the Earth dependent on the farms in outer space to tip the balance of power in the space noid's hands. So like winning a war, but not winning, like because the war is over. Xeon is deflated. They were giving like basically just at the end of the armistice, they were just basically given a small little colony, told to stay here, stay out of the dang way, and we won't march in there and take you down. But like they are discredited, they are mean, they get mean spirited, they get treated like crap. So this is more of like their revenge for it. So we're still before Char's counterattack, when more Xeon troop, Neo Xeon gets built, because like this thing doesn't get set, like the whole Xeon Earth Federation, all this stuff, it doesn't get settled for, I think it was 10 more years.
If you want to know more about the Char stuff, we did another episode. Go back and watch the episode where Harry talked about Mobile Suit.
Yeah, and through this, you've got them piling, like the rookie getting better, even battling the Ace, and eventually just end up taking him down. Basically, Top Gun. The thing that I got from it was, like I said, it took me like later in life to realize the parallels to Top Gun. But when I remembered back on the series, it was the fact that it was this idea of, just because like this whole like the Xeon troops are always like 3 moves ahead of the Earth Federation, and they made sure they didn't reveal all their plans, and they kept making the Earth Federation react to a plan that they show in front of them. They had an end goal, but they never just, this was their end goal, they usually do it because they would easily stop them. So they would only like let things out, play cards, and always kept the Earth Federation on defensive. Basically, plot armor is the reason they want plot armor. Read plot armor. You can't destroy North America. Can't let you do that. This is also in period because they've destroyed Australia in the series. Don't forget, like, what is it, 0079? They destroyed Australia. So we can't keep destroy. And I think they also like crushed like some part of in Asia too. The whole plot of things coming down the sky and raining down on you, it's terrible. it would seem like a perfect time to live, but like the UC century sucks. Yes, there's you go to outer space and do all this, but like, dude, you were probably going to die in a gruesome fashion, terrible ways. So
why did you put it on the list?
Like I said, the main reason is because it's that whole never revealing your full plan, and then keep people defensive to your plans at the exact same time, so they can't react to it. So they're always reacting, not anticipating your moves, and always make sure that you just keep thinking ahead, keep several steps ahead of people, and keep your goal in mind and keep moving forward. That's what I got from this thing as a kid watching this thing, because this thing came out in 1980 in Japan. I think released in United States 84, 85, but I didn't get to it until 2002, I want to say.
But just kind of that idea of never show your full hand and always keep thinking ahead.
Yep. Keep people reacting to your plan. Now, your close circle, you can tell them, so let them know. Don't play Admiral Holdall and don't tell your closest advisors nothing, so they think you don't have a plan or you're just winging it or not knowing what's going on. Don't do that. So yeah.
That's fair. Rhinehold, any thoughts? You moved closer to the microphone. I thought you were going to say something.
I was trying to look to see if I was muted, and I was, because I was trying to be respectful. But I mean, it just, it sounds like a fun time. I don't know, what else to say about it other than nuclear war for everybody. Oh, there you go.
Top Gun, but nuclear war edition.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what if the MiGs had nukes?
Danger zone.
Yeah. Brandon, I really think you would enjoy some of the, Gundam series, especially the darker ones. Probably not the poppy or newer ones. You probably would hate those. Probably too happy for you.
Like trying to play Fallout 4 with the anime mod. Just
too
much for me.
Too much for you. Yeah. You seem like more Thunderbolt, where the guy's like screaming for his life, and they already cut his mobile suit arms off, and he's sitting there trying to fight him off with nubs, and the guy just takes a beam saber slowly into the camera and it just beams him, screaming, and he's screaming.
Pacific Rim would be that's a good mech movie, isn't it? Gundam mech.
If you watch Pacific Rim just for the mechs, it is good. I will give you that, just for the mechs. But if you go there
for one person's acting, there's a guy on the show who acts. He's one of the scientist guys.
Mm-hmm.
He was in. What's his name?
Yes, they did Uwu.
I can't remember the name. You know who I'm talking about, though. I can guarantee you know who I'm talking about. Doctor Who spinoff.
Torchwood?
With Captain Jet. Torchwood. So the guy who was in Torchwood, one of the guys who was in Torchwood, was in Pacific Rim as one of these doctor guys. And he was so completely off what he was playing in that other character. He was really crazy. He's the one that like took the Gaiju stuff and was trying to learn how to talk the Gaiju and stuff like that. The little crazy guy. He was in Torchwood. The same guy.
So Harry, would you like to answer TR Doomcat's question there?
All right. So what Gundam would you suggest for someone who hasn't watched any mech before? Ooh, man, that's a tough one, because it's more of like based on your style. If you're fine with some of the death and destruction and hardship, I think jumping into Universal Century, it's a lot of undertaking. So I recommend don't jump into that one unless you're ready to find because there's a timeline of events and there's a watch order, which could get complicated and could turn off a lot of new people, especially if you're like, I've got to watch all of this. But there are also some self-contained stories. So I recommend, if you do like that, 008 mobile suit team, 8th mobile suit team, really good, self-contained in the UC Century. You don't have to understand anything else is going on other than there's a war going on, and you can watch it going. And that's really nice, self-contained thing, and nice animation, looks great. The animation holds up. Some of the newer stuff, I recommend staying away from Gundam Wing. A lot of people like it, but they watch it with nostalgia. Even I watch it with nostalgia. I love it, but it's
rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, those rose-colored glasses of nostalgia. Gundam 00 has its moments. It's not as good. But Iron Blood Orphans, if you're fun with child soldiers and child soldiers dying, Iron Blood Orphans is a good walk in the park for you.
If you want something that's a little lighter, it appears that the current series currently running, The Witch of Mercury, seems to be a lot lighter than some of the other more dark and horrible series.
That seems like I think they're I don't know.
I feel like that is like
that is
they're trying to get people in early.
They're building you up to drop.
Oh, I know, and I'm so waiting for that.
Someone's gonna lose a body part.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible.
I can feel it. Like someone's gonna lose an important body part, and it's just gonna be awful. Mm-hmm. But Gundam Unicorn is also good. That has some more backstory stuff to it. So I would stay away from Gundam Unicorn unless you're ready to read. Just yeah,
or be lectured to.
Yeah, UC Century. I will say, like, be careful with going in there because it is their self-contained world. The other ones they're all self-contained little stories, so you're fine with that. Stay away from G Gundam. Don't do that unless you like Street Fighter. Unless you like those Street Fighter from the 90s TV show. You like the Street Fighter anime,
and okay with things that were definitely problematic then, but are way worse now.
Little racist in it, just a little racist, little racist in G Gundam, just a little. So to answer your question, I recommend 008 8th Mobile Suit Team. Good standalone, good animation, great dark. Like, it's not grim dark. It's it just kind of showcases you, like, this is what you're getting to when you're watching Gundam. It's about war and the hardships of it. So that's what I would recommend. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ooh, what's this? Notice your. Okay. All right, Zekri. Watch.
Oh man, who knew? You know.
I feel like all my body parts are important.
So someone's gonna lose an important body part.
Well, when it comes to Gundam, all right, the military brass will tell you that some of the body parts are not important, especially an Iron Blood Orphan. God, oh man, so like in Gundam Wing, like guy was testing out the top speed of his mobile suit, cracks his ribs and dies. Anyways.
So yeah, that's Gundam. Oh yeah, they're so racist.
Japan being racist. Who would have ever seen this coming? Yeah, me either. You know, it's such a polite, culture.
Yeah, it's not like anytime they draw a character of that's any darker skin tone, they always spend extra elaborate time drawing the lips, so they're not Japanese.
I know, and to them they're like, "That's not racist. We're being respectful of their culture." But what?
Respectful of the race, not the culture. That's the thing.
Yeah. Have you? Yeah. I was just like, okay, all right, Japan. I think his reading back and had missed the whole joke of the Ubu comments. No, we got the Ubu comments. Okay, all right, Zekri, we understand the Ubu. Okay, all right, right. Which you have guessed that is Donovan's tattoo. Ubu.
Whoa, rude. Not happening.
Anyways, all right, who wants to go next?
It's obviously Rhinehold. We book in Rhinehold with the weeb shit.
Not all the time, but yeah, good.
I mean, it happens every single time.
Pretty much. So I guess what I was want to talk about this week is Aaron Benjamin Sorkin. A lot of you know Aaron Sorkin from things like West Wing, and a few other movies, maybe here and there, maybe a TV show or two. But I think once you hear kind of the breadth of what he's done and how much most of it is really good, you'll see why it's something I might want to bring up, right? So the main thing about Aaron Sorkin that I like, and I got into very early on, is his dialogue writing, right? So I've written fiction since I was probably my 13, 14 years old. I've been writing fiction, and I used to be pretty good at it at the time. I got published and stuff here in the local school newspapers and stuff like that, but never went that direction because I started trying to go to work and I just focused on my time, and then I didn't have time for that, right? But one thing I noticed in writing is that the hardest thing I think a writer has to do is write believable and engaging dialogue. And there are two people currently that I think do the best job of that in modern filmmaking or TV or whatever. And that would be Aaron Sorkin and Quentin Tarantino. Now, the movies that Quentin Tarantino makes are not going to be compared to the movies that Aaron Sorkin makes because they're whole different genres. But they both do a great job of creating believable and engaging dialogue. So, I mean, Aaron Sorkin, one of the first things you might remember, he did a play called A Few Good Men, which got turned into a movie, right? And that movie had some great dialogue in it, and the ending scene with "You Can't Handle the Truth," that build up to that, iconic, right? So that was his basically first movie.
Oh wow!
Right, and then he did Feet. Oh, okay.
It's the Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. But that
they're just talking about.
Since I interrupt you, I mean, we'll say this: you interrupt yourself. Actually, you stunned yourself.
I probably did. Yeah.
Yeah, that Can't Handle the Truth scene. Oh man, that's such a good build up. Tom Cruise scene. That's such a good double Tom Cruise night. Okay, can we get a triple?
And it's funny.
No, absolutely not.
It's like he's using in the dialogue he uses the guy's own hubris against him, his own machismo against him, right? His ego, and you could see that be happening to maybe some other people who are full of themselves that are getting caught up in their own words and not shutting up when they should shut up. So that was good. Then he did a couple movies. He did
about Chris Baylor, right?
Sure. Dearly dog. Then he did a movie called American President, which is very successful. People liked that movie. He went from there to making a TV show called Sports Night, which is where I really fell in love with this guy. Is because you see a good movie and you know all the people who worked on it and the actors who were involved and all that stuff. That's really good. But this TV show was consistent week after week after week of just good, engaging storylines, great dialogue, great twists in and on itself. It felt real, right? Unfortunately, it didn't last as long as I would like to have seen it last. It lasted like 2.5 years, 3 years. But while that was going on, he was also working on a new TV show based off of The American President, which would end up being called West Wing. So he's going from, A Few Good Men to American President to Sports Night, which was critically acclaimed, to West Wing, which ran for a long time. Now I think he left after 5 seasons or something like that to kind of let it kind of go on its way. But he still, he ushered that thing in, and he was the basis of that. And he went from there to another show called Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which may be one of my favorite TV shows ever. It only lasted 1 season, but it was a behind the scenes of basically what a Saturday Night Live show would be like. It was a Friday Night Live on the West Coast instead of a Saturday Night Live on the East Coast type thing. And there were a lot of people working on that who had been writers. Just so like in West Wing, he got people involved in the show early on who were actually in the White House working. right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some famous people. I don't remember the name, but there's a like one of the one of the top people who was working in the Clinton White House was working with him on, this is how things work inside of in that space. He did the same thing with Studio 60. He got real people who worked on those shows in there to show what it was really like. The problem was with this show is that it debuted the same year as 30 Rock. And people like 30 Rock because 30 Rock was nothing like actually how it is, but it was funnier. The Studio 60 was much more of a dramatic look with a little bit of humor in there. It had a Matthew Perry who had just come off Friends. It had Bradley Whitford who had just come off West Wing. I mean, it was just those two guys playing off each other was really good.
Yeah.
It was really well done show, but it wasn't what people were wanting at that time, and I don't think they could watch two different shows about late night, so the numbers weren't there. So that's why it failed. But
I mean, one of them had Werewolf Bar Mitzvah and the other one didn't. So I mean,
there you
one
go.
just kind of one.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up hey, this kind of sounds like what's 30 Rock, and around the same time 30 Rock came.
It was the exact same season. They were basically running against each other, and it just kind of went.
And that stays because Matthew Perry is actually pretty funny. Which if you go back and
so good,
watch some of the Friends behind the scenes stuff, you find out Matthew Perry was helping writing stuff. The writers would go ask Matthew, he'll figure something out.
I would recommend because it was 22 episodes. Studio 60, I wanted to see so much more of it, but they did kind of end the series in a way that was satisfying, so it wasn't left on a cliffhanger that you didn't get any more on. But it was really well. I recommend watching it. It's just so good. And he went from there. He did Charlie Wilson's War, which is were you say something about Studio 60 or
D.L. Hughley in it with Matthew Perry?
Oh yeah.
This is good.
No, it's so good. D.L. Hughley is so good in that movie. D.L. Hughley is great in it. There's the girl who plays the main female lead in that was in American Gothic way back when, which is one of my early favorite shows. Sean Cassidy put that together, and she played the girl who said, there's somebody at the door. That was the big thing through all of that. So she's in there. I mean, there's a lot of great people in this show. So I do recommend it because most people probably missed it. Watch the season. You'll get it. It's hilarious. Then he goes to Charlie Wilson's War, another great movie. People loved it. The Social Network. Again, great dialogue, great movie. Yep. Not necessarily the most accurate.
Yeah, Doomcat brought that up immediately.
Yeah. Social Network is great. Yep. And then Moneyball right after that. Right. Moneyball, such a good movie. Jonah Hill, and Brad Pitt. I mean, that's a really fun movie to watch too. Another one with great dialogue and stuff like that in there. Then he moved back to TV and did The Newsroom, which I don't know if anybody's seen the clips. But there's a clip out there on YouTube that's been going around the reaction channels a lot. And it's basically the opening scene to the series. And it's titled, Why America Isn't the Greatest Country Anymore. And it basically starts off with this person who's getting pressured to say why America is the greatest country. And he just finally flips and says it's not. And he gives all these reasons why. We're third in this, we're 25th in this, we're 20, we lead in categories and only three things, what was it? War, how much we spend on war, the number of people who believe ghosts are real, and something else. It was really bad. I can't remember what it was. It was but
heart disease.
But what he does is he turns it then and says, well, we used to be, and we could be again. And he gives reasons why. We didn't scare so easy. We did things. We didn't do things for glory. We did things because it was the right thing to do. So it's a great speech, just an amazing speech, and it sucks you in so right then and there. And the 3 seasons of that show are very well done. The writing, the dialogues, again, the storylines, you get to feel like it kind of ruins you a little bit. Because when you watch The West Wing, when you watch The Newsroom, you you see an idolized version of those two institutions, right? The media and the White House and politics. And you think, why can't we be like that? Why do we have to be so less than what he's presenting in this, right? So that's one of the bad parts, is you get kind of torn from that.
Yeah.
It's so well written that you believe that it could be real.
Yeah. Personally, I will say that, it's America just really doesn't have any competition to be better.
We have nobody pushing it.
Yeah, every other country goes in the opposite direction.
So I want to get through. So he goes from Newsroom and immediately makes the Steve Jobs movie. Everybody loves, right? Then a movie called Molly's Game, which I didn't see. I don't know much about, unfortunately. But then, 5 years after the Steve Jobs movie, he comes back and does The Trial of Chicago 7, which I don't know if you've seen or not, but that is awesome. That's like, I don't know if you know who the Chicago 7 were, but they were the instigators of the 1968 riots in Chicago with Daley at the Democratic National Convention. And Nixon wanted to put them on trial and put them in jail for organizing this protest, right? It's very good because it's Thomas Hayden, and it's all the leaders that got together, and they didn't like each other. They didn't agree with each other, but they were all like kind of joined together to protest the war, basically. So there's a lot of infighting going on. There's a lot of good stuff that happened there. And just the whole story is a very incredible one. And he does a really good job of sticking with kind of what happened for the most part. So I recommend that one. And then he did Being the Ricardos, which just came out like a year ago. I don't know if you know who that's with who was that? Nicole Kidman and Harvey Bardem playing Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. It's actually very good. It kind of takes a look at them from a single week that happened in their lives, where there was a lot of confrontation and accusations of being communists and stuff like that, and how it affected the show. And it kind of does a lot of looking back and looking into what happened and all those people. So that was good. So he's been steadily just pumping out good works after good works after good works. And really it just elevates everything else you see. You start to see the lazier dialogue. You see the flaws and how a lot of other people are doing that when you do study and get involved in what Aaron Sorkin and Tarantino are doing with dialogue.
So it's the dialogue that really put him on the map for you.
It's partially dialogue. It's partially the intelligence and wit of the dialogue and the situations and the story that's being told. Also, that plays into it as well. Whereas Tarantino, I think, is for me more like Aaron Sorkin's more about the intelligence and high mind of the story and how to make it the most interesting. Where Tarantino goes much more for situational, a very emotive invoking. Like a great example would be Inglourious Basterds, the opening scene with Hans Landa or whatever his name, I can't remember his name, but that character talking to the French farmer about hiding the Jew. I mean, that scene is so filled with tension, and being able to do that is incredible. But it's kind of a different way of taking dialogue and making it work for his type of movie, as opposed to Aaron Sorkin, who uses it to elevate the story in a way that makes you think about it. Like, oh, okay, well, I can see both sides. I can get that point, that when there's arguments in Aaron Sorkin's work between two people, it's usually a case where you can see both sides. You could agree with both of them and you get their points. It's not so one-sided in that discussion where it's like, oh, this person's obviously wrong and this person's obviously right, which happens a lot in other writing. But he does a really good job of making it seem believable that these both people think that they're right and they're having the discussion. So.
Great. Harry, thoughts?
I would have to say, like, with this, like, so, like, I've been around this guy's writing, so, like, without knowing his guy's name, and I do appreciate a lot of his writing, and a lot of the scenes I have absorbed, and I think I will go back and probably watch Studio 60. Most of these is like I've not watched Being the Ricardos. I've been wanting to watch that. That one is on my radar. That one's in my backlog. But yeah, so
it was very good. I watched it. I just happened to catch it one night when it came out. I was flipping through the channels. I was like, oh, I got Amazon. Let's watch this, and it was actually very good. I thought it was very good. It's not, there was another Lucy and Desi documentary. It came out about the same time, so that one's probably much more accurate to what happened.
Yeah.
Aaron Sorkin likes to take some liberties to elevate the story a little bit, but that's what you do. He's not doing documentaries.
All I can hope is that at some point, if my writing stuff goes well, I get this kind of reaction for somebody. It's like, oh, this dialogue is so perfect. This is what I want. So that's other that.
And to do that, really study Tarantino, study Aaron Sorkin. Those two guys are the top of the game, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I guess that means they're going into my stuff.
Yeah. Flow right in.
So I am going to talk about Bloom Into You. I'm going to discuss this in a way of just a general synopsis and why it's on the list. And then afterwards, I'm going to go into spoilers for the narrative, because I really want to go into why it hooked me to this point where I wanted to keep reading it and knowing. So Bloom Into You is a slice of life anime, which is, it's basically during people's normal life. And it's a romance and comedy drama about this girl named Yu who doesn't feel love. Okay. And this girl Toko who finds out that she doesn't feel love and falls in love with her because she can't love. And her whole premise is that I want us to be together as long as you don't love me.
Not a broken person syndrome or trying to fix something. It's more a case of I only will love you if you
don't love me. Exactly. Okay. And that part of the narrative is very much shows the theme of it, which is personal identity, because it's the entire narrative is focused around these two characters fully understanding who they are, because Yu doesn't really wants to know what love is and how that is and wants to experience it, but can't feel it. And when she actually meets a character named Miki, who is a pure arrow ace male character who wants nothing to do with romance at all. He literally goes on a spiel about, for him, romance is like watching people on a stage. And if somebody wants to invite me from the audience on the stage, that just doesn't make sense. I don't want to be on the stage. So she has like a bonding moment with Miki, and when she leaves, he goes, she's not like me. She wants that. I don't. And it builds kind of this narrative about personal stakes and figuring out who you are as a person, because Toko as a character is like the stereotypical perfect kid in school, like highest grades, the student council president, everybody wants to be them, popular. And the only time she actually shows her real personality is with Yu, because she feels like she doesn't have to put up the facade, because she feels like she has nothing at stake. So the theme of identity is so massively linked to this narrative that I'm basically gonna do a full dive into Toko after I say why this is on my list, because I got so invested in these characters. So I originally watched the anime of this, and early on in the anime they introduce a plot line in which Toko, as she takes over the student council, wants to do a play for the council that several years ago it was going to happen. Then it got canceled for some reason, and she wants to bring it back. And the narrative is building towards this play. And in the anime, you get to the penultimate episode where like they're changing the play on the fly and everything is moving in a very intense direction, that the main overarching plot is going to hit this peak. And then the final episode of the season happens and it doesn't get to the play. And I'm watching the anime and it ends without it hitting the play. So I'm staring at the screen like, what is happening? So I look it up and it only has one season. It doesn't have a second season. It's not even announced yet. So I look up the manga. And it turns out the manga's done and it just wasn't finished yet. So I said, screw it. I'm going to read the manga. And then I read the manga and I enjoyed this series so much because of how the play resolves and how everything goes through. But you see, instead of reading the manga, and I was on this site and it had all this other manga here, and I went from not reading manga at all to within 2 years having a spreadsheet that has over 200 completed / up-to-date manga and another 100 that I've read at least some of. Because it's this series, the way it pulled me in kind of allowed me to reawaken that joy of reading and going through and enjoying like art and the narrative in a written form in compared to like anime and sitting down and watching anime, because it becomes a much more of a personal experience being able to sit down and read it at my own pace and understand it and absorb it in my own way. But this series, because of this cliffhanger in the anime, led to my free time being eaten by manga for 2 years.
Okay.
So that's why it's on the list, because I had to put it on the list because it warped my free time.
You can use it as the reason why you haven't got any writing done, right?
No, I actually finished the book during this time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a whole book in the middle of all this.
Mhm.
So that did get done. And honestly, reading the manga and stuff and reading more things in written form probably massively helped me get through to just continue writing, because I was reading the written word more and more instead of just listening and watching. So it made me want to write more, and it kind of flowed together. So that's why it's on the list. I think it's a great series. It has a lot of personal stakes into it. So I'm going to go into spoilers now.
No spoilers
for anybody who cares about that.
Spoilers.
So I'm going to go into depth about Toko as a character, because it's important to really show how intense this personal identity concept is. So Toko as a character, she's this perfect character with obviously that has a much meeker side in private.
Mm-hmm.
But you come to find out the reason she acts she's this perfect kid is because when she was younger, her mom asked her and her sister for somebody to go get something from the store, and they played rock paper scissors, and she won, so her sister went, and her sister got hit by a car and died before the student council play, hence why the play got stopped. And because her sister, who she saw as this perfect person, this perfect girl, is gone, and all of her family are constantly weeping and missing her and saying that, oh, you could probably be just like her, she decides that she's going to be that ideal version of her sister. And she wants to become her sister. And there is a moment in which Yu is talking to Toko, and she's like, look, you don't have to be your sister. People like you for who you are now. You don't have to worry about that. And Toko stops what she's doing and turns around and looks at Yu and goes, I'd rather kill myself than not do this. Because when I was me, nobody cared. When I was who I was before, nobody cared about that person. I need to be my sister, because that's what everybody cares about. And she makes you make 3 promises to her, which is to never fall in love with her, to always be by her side, and to never fall in love with anybody else. Because she needs that support there, because you's the only person that she feels pays attention to her, and she's allowed to be herself. And the play, which is this driving narrative force, ends up being written by one of you's friends who just kind of took a general idea concept. And the play is that a girl wakes up in a hospital and a nurse explains that she got hit by a car and has amnesia. And during the play, 3 people from the girl's life shows up: her classmate, her brother, and her lover. And they all have different perspectives on who this girl was. And at the end of the play, she wants to figure out who the real version of her is. So she picked the one that her brother saw, with her being cold to her family. Should it be the perfect person that the classmates saw? Could it be the vulnerable person that the lover saw? Who should she be? And the original ending was that she picked the lover. But you decided that she hated that ending and changed it. Because the only person that knew the person in the play from beginning to end as is the nurse. The nurse had no idea who she was before, because she had no preconceived notions of who she was before she came in. And that her picking a personality kind of makes the play pointless, because you lose the person you've built into. And to really nail it home, I have this quote here from one of the chapters after Toko forces you to make the promise not to fall in love with her. And this is how it goes. Love is a violent word. Phrases like, "I love that about you," or "if you do that, I would fall out of love with you." The word love is like a shackle, because you never loved. I thought you were the nicest person in the world. You turned out to be as sweet as she looked. She accepted me for me. She didn't judge me. She just stayed by my side. After experiencing this wonderful feeling, I will never be able to go back. This is a word that shackles. Please you, don't fall in love with me. Because she felt that everybody in her life expects her to be one way, because that's how they use the word love. They want her to be like her sister. They want her to be this person.
Yeah. And if she falls in love with her,
she'll be just like everybody else.
You'll be just like everyone else, adding something else to me. That's not me.
Exactly. So this whole concept of identity and understanding who you really are, because this whole thing, her whole commitment to being her sister, gets completely shaken when she meets somebody who is in the student council with her sister. Yeah. You're welcome, Doomcat. Doomcat said thank you for the spoiler banner.
I will say thanks for the spoiler warning banner. I have you on my planning list, and it was so helpful to not need to unmute every minute and hear spoilers. She
meets a member of the student council that her sister was involved in.
Is it safe to take the spoiler banner down, or are you still doing it?
No, I'm still spoiling real quick, and then
what the heck? No, that's fine.
The guy in the club, she asks him what her sister was like, and he goes, "Oh, she was lazy and pushed all the work on everybody else. And honestly, you're a much better student council president than she was." And Toko refuses to accept that, because for her sister was this perfect person that everybody expected everything from. And again, it's the whole concept of identity and understanding who you are as a person really kept me going, because a lot of that stuff, like the play, the way they show it, and the fact that Toko plays the girl that wakes up from the accident and has to decide who she is in this moment, is just enthralling. It's one of those moments of getting to watch a person come to terms with who they really are.
Yeah. I really do like the aspect when you said like, because picking a personality, something else that somebody was brought into it, you do lose like everything the audience has built up. Like we've built a personality here. We've built something.
Right. And then that was one of the things is that like the person who wrote the script was she's like, I don't like the ending. I just don't know what it is. I just don't like the ending. The original ending, she just didn't like it until you pointed out like, hey, this is what it is. She's like, oh my fucking God, you're absolutely right. This isn't the same character anymore.
Yeah, it's a completely different character now.
So yeah, I'm done spoiling, so you can take it off. So yeah, that's Blooming to You. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I think that if you like those more, I think I've come to realize that I like the slice of life / like romance genre a lot more, because there's a lot more personal stakes and not as many the world's going to end stakes. It's much more emotional and psychological of how people interact with one another. And I think that some people like that, some people hate that. But for me, I think I've come to really enjoy, interpersonal conversations and dilemmas. And while the world is happening around you, it's important to still have the moments of making people. Any thoughts?
I mean, it's a common, I think, aspect of psychology a lot of people are looking at, where you never know how people look at you. How am I going to say this? Every person has a different view of who you are.
Right.
Everybody you've ever met. So the person you think you are, nobody sees that person. Everybody sees their version of you. And that's something a lot of people have trouble grasping. So
what I think is neat is in your 3x3 that you have anime that got you into reading manga again. And the anime that got you watching anime again.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's very interesting and neat. You think you should watch more happy slice of life animes? Okay, make sure you sprinkle those in somewhere.
Well, I have plenty of happy ones in there too.
Okay,
they're just not on this list.
All right, I just want to make sure you sprinkle them in there.
Do I need to pull up the spreadsheet? Do I need to pick something out for you?
I'm just saying that, like, you already look like Tim Burton's cousin. I don't need. I'm just worried for you. Just worried. Okay, all right. Just wondering what's good. Just to make sure you're okay in there. Okay, all right.
It's all good.
Worry about you. All right. Yeah. No. That's it. That's all I've got for me.
That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. So
I did want to come out of the spoilers with a joke, but it just didn't seem right. I was just going to come out as soon as the spoiler tag came off. Go. And then the Titanic sank. I mean, could you see that coming?
Oh man,
it was such a twist. Something like that.
So if you ever do low key reacts to the Titanic movie, I will start taking shots and partying when the white people start dying when the boat goes down. Yeah.
Well, to go back to
just have my whole family in the other room and they all come in. Yeah, the Dutch.
Going back to a character or one of the original 3x3s that I brought up. Harry Chapin has a song called "Dance Band on the Titanic," which is awesome. It's funny and awesome. Like there's a line in there where it says, the chaplain was saying women and children and chaplains first.
So
women and children chaplain first.
So when the next time we do this, I know like Harry can introduce which one he's doing because it's obviously one of the two, and I know which one I'm doing because of that.
Yeah.
So Harry, which one are you doing for next time?
Well, like I said, Initial D for me is going to be last because it's really important to me, and I think the plot in Initial D ends up makes it last. So I would need to put a cap on the Universal Century, and I think the best way to put a cap on Universal Century is the anime manga that put a cap on the Universal Century, at least the halfway to the else, is Gundam Unicorn.
Rhinehold?
Well, here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I can't look up my 3x3 right now.
You have Charlie Chaplin or Asimov.
I remember Charlie. Asimov. Okay.
You have Chaplin or Asimov.
I think you should do Asimov last, but it's up to you. It's you.
No, I can do Asimov last. They're both pretty big. Asimov's probably the one that should be last because it probably had the greatest. It's the one that broke my brain the most and made me who I am today. Is one story by Isaac Asimov. So I'll do him last and we'll do Charlie Chaplin next.
So Chaplin, and then I get to do the definite absolute garbage shit show that is Future Diary that is on mine. It's gonna be such a great watch. Zikri in the chat, he'll know. He knows it's trash.
Are you gonna
force him to watch it with it? Yeah. Oh, I'm forcing him to watch it with me in nostalgia. Oh, it's gonna be so bad. Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
I look forward to ZQ to watch one of my 3x3. ZQ, we're watching Initial D. Come on.
I mean, he probably would.
I have to speed watch it. That was a lot of episodes.
This is a lot of episodes. But yeah, no, mine is an absolute garbage fire of a narrative.
We're not skipping.
So I'm only saying watch 12 or 14 seasons of 3 different TV shows and then a few movies, right? So that's
What mine is like not even 50 chapter manga.
Well, you've got the battle state. You got Initial D, the first stage, which is like 20-ish, like 12-ish maybe episodes.
Yes, you did, Nostalgia. You did sign up for this. This is going to be amazing.
Forces we signed up for. That's the spirit of Skull G's. I know. I didn't feel like I was trying on that one. Anyways,
no, you didn't. You weren't.
Second stage, you get a few episodes. In that third stage, you get the movie, and then you get the battle stage. But you've got to watch the battle stages, okay? Right? And then you go to the fourth stage, and then you've got the other battle stage movie, which is really neat because you can see Mako and Maya doing stuff, which is amazing because these two girls are just up there spanking dudes and Evos. It's amazing.
This last one last one's going to be.
And then you get
rough. It's going to be a rough series.
Then you've got the Chinese movie.
Because we got Harry's 18 seasons of Initial D, the mind breaking of Asimov, and then the depression that is July and April that's sitting there waiting menacingly.
It's okay. I got my Initial D. It's going to be okay. And then Gundam Unicorn. This one's going to be neat. Because the plot of Gundam Unicorn, it's just shows you more of the sins of war of the Earth Federation. So if you think the nuclear weapons were bad, oh no, no. Their Earth Federation which I will get into this one is when you find out like the Earth Federation, like they're not the good guys. They're better than Zeon.
No.
But they are not the good guys.
I see you, Doomcat. I get it. When we get to that episode, when I talk about the series is going to be sad. Yeah. The reason I'm talking about the series is going to be sad. It's just going to be all sad, and we're going to end that last series off with sadness incarnate.
I know.
Merry Christmas for everyone.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
it's probably going to come out after Christmas because Christmas is what, in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And when they have like one episode of the podcast before then. So
right. Yeah.
So even if we do watch the episodes, if we do the anime episode next week, it'll be the 26th when we do the next one of these.
pretty much. Which, you know,
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. Yeah.
Promise you nothing.
Oh, that's fine.
Boxing Day 2023.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
All right, everybody. All right. Before this episode gets too long in the tooth,
I got one thing.
No.
Alexa, play Goo Goo Bumps.
I couldn't find the songs you requested.
Wow. Wow.
Wrong. Alexa failed. Alexa failed. No.
Yeah, there you go. Play Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah, Alexa.
Jeez. Goo Goo Mumps, what is wrong with you?
No, Goo Goo Dolls, max volume. Every speaker in the house, max volume.
Ruined it. I had it all set up and
don't
ruined
want to miss the thing, max volume.
I know. We're probably going to get a copyright strike just on that little chord.
Well, see, if you're on TikTok at all I see nowadays is people doing the Wednesday dance, right? So it's just video after video after video, and that song is just now stuck in my head so hard.
Everyone does. I know, I didn't think there was many people watching that show up until I started to get on social media. Like everyone is doing the dance. I was like, everyone's.
It did a turn because what happened was that people started doing the dance to Lady Gaga song, and then Lady Gaga got on and did the dance. So she's got a version of her out there doing it now. So
yeah, that's fine.
It's fair. And then everything else that happened around it.
And I was watching one video.
No, Rhinehold.
No, just real quick, one video. This Reese Witherspoon is watching a scene from Wednesday, and they're getting ready to show the horror movie that's going to make it's going to make her feel like a horror movie, and it starts playing the opening song, and Reese Witherspoon just went, and it turns around and it's Legally Blonde, and she's just starts laughing hysterically. Fun stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff going on out there.
And Rhinehold is spoiling more Wednesday. Flake sent all hate mail to Rhinehold at realterrors.com.
If you haven't seen it yet, do reaction to it. Record your reaction to it. We'll put it up.
Send all hate mail.
Edit it.
Rhinehold.
So it's copyright.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Like I said, I'm going to end this episode if we get too long in the tooth. You could have been listening to anything else in the world, but you decided to listen to this and download this and watch this episode, and I thank you. So do tune in again. We are live Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are predominantly a live show. We do appreciate you who listen to us as a podcast and listen to us, on the audio version. But we're a video we're a video live show, and we just put it out in podcast form just so people can listen to it. So if you are listening to this, come in, tune in 9. Come say hi to us. Messages up, bring something else up, and we will usually react live. And trust me, we're not charging all these people money to read their comments. We're not like those other people that
only Ascalgia.
Yeah, only Ascalgia there. Yeah, but of course we make it work for it. Anyways,
that's why you pay those bits up front.
We charge them to be our friends. So.
Yeah,
he paid all those bits up front.
All right, so. All right, so thank you everybody, and have a good one. See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.